Hello agents and welcome back to another Division video. Today I wanted to put together a build on the PTS. We're now on phase 2 for the new exotic pistol, the Regulus. And as you can see, here is the build. Now there's a couple of ways we can run this, and actually it's not just about the exotic pistol, it was more looking at the new chest piece which has perfect Headhunter on, and a build that we could be able to adapt to quite quickly when TU10 rolls around, because obviously this gun is going to be a raid reward and is not going to be available to everybody as soon as we get to TU10. But this is really fun, and there's a couple of ways you can use it. We can take away these two, the pistol and the holster, and still run it really well. And the idea was just to make heroics solo really easy, and without having to run perfect glass cannon and have that worry about that incoming damage that some people don't like. So there's a couple of ways you can run this. So first of all, I'm going to show you is using the pistol and the new gun, and this could actually be the Liberty. It actually works all the same, but the benefit of the new pistol is the explosion damage that you see there. Everything just dies. We then want to switch over to our M1A. We're going to hit some heads, and we want to be able to one-shot an elite. That's the aim, and as you can see now, I just get stronger and stronger because I've got riflemen on my gun, and we get that buff. Now they did change Headhunter, which affected the build. I had this build ready to go yesterday using aces, but they've taken away the multiplicative damage bonus from aces. It is now only additive, which ruins the set. Effectively it kills the set right now. But what they made to perfect Headhunter, they changed the damage value. So it used to be 1500%. But now it's actually capped at 800% if you're not over 150% weapon damage. So I had to change some values around. I had to take away some crit chance and some crit damage, and I had to add in some headshot damage. Now I wasn't too worried about being crit cap with this build, and I know that sounds really strange because usually I would be worried, but as long as I can one shot these with a headshot, effectively my crit chance and crit damage don't actually matter too much. So that's what you want to be aiming for, the fact that you can one shot these. And obviously because we've got the TAC 50, the same rules apply. We can one shot something with the TAC 50, and then because of the chest piece, the same rules apply, which is obviously why we can take away the holster from this and take away the pistol, because we're not going to have it if you don't want to use the Liberty. But then there is another way as well. You can actually use the White Death as well. Do a switch and still get the buff. So that's why I wanted to make this really versatile, that we have more than one way of buffing the chest piece talent, and therefore switching back to our favourite classic M1A and being able to one-shot bad guys. So here is the build. First of all, there's just my classic M1A. It's short on some rifle damage, so that would be much better if I could get that up. But I'll damage the target out of cover and rifleman. None of this has been changed, apart from this got a slight nerf in base damage. The White Death, really well rolled, and I'm running Ranger on that. If you've not seen the new exotic pistol before, so it's confirmed it's going to come from the raid. It's not very well rolled on this one, but the headshot kills create a 5 meter explosion dealing 400% damage, and weapon damage applying bleed to all the enemies hit. Really nice, but everything tends to just die when you hit with it on the explosion, so the bleed damage is pretty strange that that's even there. Then I've got a Providence mask, headshot damage with some crit chance. As you can see here, I've had to get in some headshot damage because I want to be over 150%. What I found was that no matter how high I scaled my crit chance and crit damage, because I couldn't activate the extra damage from this to allow me to go up to 1250, the 800% wasn't enough to be able to one-shot elite mobs. So therefore it made it just not worth running with an M1A. We'll look at the chest piece now as we're here. Walker Harris gives us 5% weapon damage. This piece was in the vendor for us to test. I just rolled weapon damage on it, and I put a headshot damage mod in there. Perfect Headhunter. After killing an enemy with a headshot, your next weapon hit within 30 seconds deals an additional 150% of that killing blow's damage. Damage is capped to 800% of your weapon damage. This is raised to 1250% if your headshot damage is greater than 150. And that's what we needed it to be at. We needed it to be at the 1250% so that our M1A could start hitting things really, really hard. Next is the backpack, 2-piece Providence for some extra crit chance, because essentially it was really hard to maintain crit chance in this build. We've got some weapon damage, crit chance, critical hit damage, and then some more headshot damage. I stuck with Vigilance, still really, really good, adding 25% extra damage. And obviously using the shield still, and I've used the Defender drone for the times I don't have the shield. Contractor's gloves, pretty much meta in TU9. Looks like they're going to be meta again in TU10. And then Foxy's Pros, which helps because we're running a rifle as well as our M1A. So we get the Overlord piece, the 10% rifle damage. And I've obviously got these max rolled with critical hit damage on the bottom. The Dodge City holster has had a little bit of a change in Phase 2. Obviously it's pretty easy to get a max roll one. Comes with some headshot damage that helps. But what you'll notice is even though the pistol stacks are exactly the same, when you swap to it, your first shot consumes the buff and deals 10% damage per stack. This is normal. But this deals headshot damage to anywhere you hit. So if you hit the body, you're still going to get it applied as if it was headshot damage. Everyone's still going to aim for the head, but they've changed it just that little bit to make it a little bit easier. We need to aim for the head when we're using this though, because obviously we want the explosive damage from this gun. If you was using the Liberty, it would work all the same, but it's just because it has a really good, has the damage to target out of cover, which makes up for the missing base damage that you get here with the new exotic. And that's it. I'll show you my stats just so you can see. So on my M1A, this is the weapon damage now. It's 46% crit chance. If I could figure out how to get this to 60, I'd be much more happy. But we've got 107% critical hit damage, but we've got a slightly larger percentage headshot damage than what a normal M1A build would run, because we've had to make sure we get over 150%. If you wanted to see the stats when I switched to the White Death, you can see a huge amount of headshot damage for that. Not so much critical hit damage, but with 41% critical hit chance. And then when we switch to the pistol, again, huge amount of headshot damage, good amount of critical hit damage. And then attack 50 again, huge headshot damage. Which essentially makes the build. This is really going to be one for somebody that wants to hit headshots, but also wants to have a bit of fun with the exploding pistol, because it is really, really nice to actually be using the Dodge City holster and getting some use out of it. And as you can see, that bar's straight to the maximum Headhunter bonus at the bottom. They added a bar so you can see how much percentage you're actually getting. I'll leave you with a clip that I did of me using the actual build. It's great fun. Luckily enough, I used Viewpoint Museum, and right at the beginning of that, there's a whole clump of bad guys clumped together, so you can see the explosion from the new pistol, just to show that off as well. But then also how easy it is, as long as you're hitting heads, everything just dies on solo heroic. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. Do come and check me out over on Twitch, twitch.tv/DJTICKLE, where I stream there most days. Check out the links in the description below. Hit the subscribe button and hit the bell so you get notified when I upload more Division content, which I do on the regular. And I will see you in the next one. Thanks for watching, everybody. Goodbye.
All communications coming in and out of the building will be controlled from the production studio on the top floor, so you'll need to find it and secure it.
saw some hostiles enter the parking garage east of the main entrance. You might be able to get in that way.